It's NCX, and this is my review of the new Crossover 2755 AMG, which is a 2560x1440 resolution AH-IPS panel from LG which uses Plasma Deposition Coating. This is the table of contents. Make sure to enable annotations so that you can click on the different boxes to jump to different portions of this review. The Crossover 2755 AMG uses Plasma Deposition Coating, or glass, which is bonded to the panel. It cannot overclock without dropping frames, so there's absolutely no point in overclocking it. All of the new Korean 2560x1440 resolution AH-IPS panels available on eBay use Plasma Deposition Coating, which is glass which is bonded to the panel, while typical displays with edge-to-edge glass such as the Dell S series, Apple Cinema display, Apple Thunderbolt display, and Samsung S27B970D use edge-to-edge glass which is not bonded to the panel, and there's a little gap between the glass and the panel, which increases the amount of external reflections as well as creates internal reflections, and makes the blacks look gray, which is why I consider the $1,000 Samsung S27B970D and Apple Cinema displays jokes. Now, Plasma Deposition Coating is similar to edge-to-edge glass, however the blacks don't look nearly as gray as they do on a display with regular edge-to-edge glass, and displays with Plasma Deposition Coating are also far less reflective than displays with edge-to-edge glass, and they are also less reflective than glossy displays, as we can see in my comparison here. Still, semi-glossy displays such as the BenQ BL2710PT are still less reflective than displays with Plasma Deposition Coating. However, the blacks on a semi-glossy display, such as the BenQ BL2710PT, will look deeper than they do on a display with Plasma Deposition Coating, as do the blacks on a glossy display, which makes glossy and semi-glossy displays superior for all-around use since the blacks will actually look black in dark scenes, while monitors with Plasma Deposition Coating will still have grayish blacks, but they do not look nearly as gray as they do on a display with regular edge-to-edge glass, such as the Samsung S27B970D, Dell S series, and Apple Cinema and Thunderbolt displays. So while displays with Plasma Deposition Coating do have grayish blacks, I must note that they are less reflective than displays with regular edge-to-edge glass, and also less reflective than displays with glossy coatings. However, the blacks still look grayish. And another advantage of Plasma Deposition Coating is that the colors look slightly more vibrant and slightly clearer than they do on a display with a glossy coating. In terms of clarity, nothing can match a display with Plasma Deposition Coating. However, the blacks do look grayish in dark scenes, which prevent displays with Plasma Deposition Coating from being great all-around monitors, especially since the color clarity and vibrancy advantage Plasma Deposition Coating offers versus the glossy coating is noticeable but quite minimal. All Crossover 27 AMG models either do not use LED PWM dimming or use at such a high frequency that it is not detectable on camera and should not cause those who are sensitive to LED PWM dimming to have health-related issues. The AMG series includes the 2735, 2755, and 2763 AMG, and the Crossover 27QW either does not use LED PWM dimming or uses a high enough frequency that it is not detectable on camera. I only reviewed the 2755 AMG, but Dead from Overclock.ru tested the 27QW and the 2735 AMG, while PlayerWares reviewed the 2763 AMG. All Crossover AMG models and the 27QW support proper brightness controls, which means one can raise or lower the brightness as much as they want, and the contrast will remain pretty much the same, regardless of the brightness setting they use, while the new multi-input Akiva Shimium models do not support proper brightness control. So when the brightness is reduced, the black level is not reduced with the brightness, resulting in a very high black level when using lower brightness settings, which will make the blacks look even grayer than they already do, since the other multi-input AH-IPS Akiva Shimium models also use Plasma Deposition Coating. So avoid buying one of those, and get one of the Crossover AMG series models or 27QW, since they all support proper brightness control, as does the 27Q and the older 2720 MDP and 2730 MDP crossover models. The 2755 AMG only comes with a dual-link DVI cord as well as the power brick and power cord and an adapter for North American customers. Now, in terms of inputs, it has a power input, VGA, dual-link DVI, HDMI 1.4, and 3.5mm audio in and out to connect the 2755 AMG to external audio sources. It can only send audio over HDMI. The monitor's glass base has two holes inside of it, which the screws must be inserted through to connect it to the monitor's stand neck, which connects to the monitor itself. The glass base looks kind of fragile, and the holes which the screws must be put through may degrade and eventually crack and cause the monitor to topple over and break. The AMG series can be bezel mounted, however, the display must be taken apart to remove the stand neck, which is attached on the inside of the display. Now I've highlighted the screws which must be removed, as well as the bezel holes. Once the screws are removed, removing the stand is really simple. All you have to do is remove the screws, which I've highlighted in my image here, to take off the stand's neck. And then it just needs to be reassembled and bezel mounted. Just don't lose any of the screws because they're quite small. In terms of speed, the 2755 AMG is slightly faster than the QNX QX2710, Asus PB278HU, and Samsung S278 but it isn't as fast as the BenQ BL2710PT, ViewSonic VP2770, or Crossover 2720 MDP, which I reviewed in 2012, and I have video reviews for all of these monitors, so make sure to check out my reviews on my channel. The 2755 AMG is also equally as fast as the Monix M27QSM, but it uses LED PWM dimming, which slightly affects the perception of motion and makes consistent motion look slightly jittery compared to monitors which do not use LED PWM dimming. Both the glossy and matte QNX QX2710s I reviewed did not use LED PWM dimming, but some of the QNXs actually do use LED PWM dimming and have very low PWM dimming frequencies, which will definitely affect the perception of motion clarity. The 2755 AMG is free from PWM related motion artifacts, and the pixel response times are quite fast. Color streaking and smearing is quite limited, and it is free from overshoot ghosting, which appears in the form of bright, dark, and colored halos or glow which form around moving objects. So while the 2755 AMG is not as fast as the BenQ BL2710PT, Crossover 2720 MDP, or ViewSonic VP2770, it is still fast enough to satisfy most gamers, except for those who are used to a CRT or super fast TN panel, like the Asus VG28QE, BenQ XL242TE, XL2411T, or Samsung 750 and 950 panels, all of which will be faster than the Crossover 2755 AMG, as well as most other 2560x1440 resolution displays, even when these TN panels are set to 60 Hz. The Crossover 2755 AMG has around 1 frame of input lag, like pretty much every other 2560x1440 resolution display with multiple inputs. It was 18 to 20 milliseconds slower than my Samsung 700NF CRT, and consistently 18 milliseconds slower than my QNX QX2710, and I tested these monitors against each other using the SMT 2.5 tool. Gamers after a high-resolution 1440p display will have to opt for one of these single input models if they want to avoid the 1 frame delay. crossover 2755 AMG simply looks beautiful out of the box, thanks to its nearly perfect out-of-the-box color presets, which look better than most of the monitors I have reviewed. In fact, the 2755 AMG's out-of-the-box colors are better than monitors which cost twice as much, like the ViewSonic VP2770. And thanks to the use of plasma deposition coating, the 2755 AMG's color vibrancy and clarity surpasses all of the other monitors I have reviewed. However, the colors are only slightly more vibrant and clearer compared to a display which uses a glossy coating, and the perceived black levels are significantly worse compared to a display which uses a glossy or matte or semi-glossy coating. So while the 2755 AMG's out-of-the-box color settings are amazing and are near perfect except for the fact that the brightness is cranked out of the box and there's a minor green tint, I must once again criticize the grayish blacks that plasma deposition coating offers, while also praise the unmatched color clarity and vibrancy, while also once again noting that the extra color vibrancy and clarity plasma deposition coating offers is only slightly better than the vibrancy and clarity that a glossy coating offers when compared to a matte or semi-glossy coating. Calibration brings almost no improvement to the crossover 2755 AMG's color accuracy, since the color presets are pretty much perfect aside from the slight green tint and fact that the brightness is cranked out of the box. Once calibrated, the crossover 2755 AMG offers the best calibrated image quality I have ever seen from a monitor, aside from the NEC P242W, which is free from gradient banding, while the crossover 2755 AMG, along with the rest of the 2560x1440 resolution displays I have reviewed, are not free from gradient banding out of the box or after calibration. Thanks to the 2755 AMG's 100% sRGB color space coverage, it can display almost all of the colors with the perfect amount of saturation and no undersaturation, which combined with plasma deposition coating allow the 2755 AMG to display colors more vibrantly than 99% of monitors out there and still retain near perfect color accuracy, while surpassing monitors which cost almost twice as much, like the Dell U2713H and ViewSonic VP2770. My calibrated color settings and ICC profile are available within the written review, which is linked to in the video description. The 2755 AMG's measured color temperature and brightness uniformity was excellent. The yellow numbers are the color temperature uniformity which I measured across 15 different points on the display. The white is the brightness, and the black is the black level I measured across all 15 points. The 2755 AMG was free from obvious color and brightness uniformity issues, while the measured black level consistency was quite mediocre across the entire display, since the black level is much higher in the right section of the display compared to others. The high black level is caused by the backlight bleeding, which is caused by the display's panel, which is putting uneven pressure across the display and causes the light to leak. So while the measured color and brightness uniformity is excellent, the measured black level consistency is quite mediocre thanks to the obvious backlight bleeding. My 2755 AMG suffers from obvious backlight bleeding, which is visible in the bottom center right, and top right corner, and is quite distracting when viewing dark scenes. My Xbox 360 and PS3 settings are available in the written review, which is linked to in the video description. The 2755 AMG scales lower resolutions perfectly, such as 1280x720, which is forced by the PS3 in most games since they're only 720p, and 1920x1080. Console games look as sharp as they should, and they're free from any obvious scaling issues, which makes the crossover 2755 AMG a great display for playing console games. My calibrated color settings and ICC profile are available within the written review, which is linked to in the video description. The 2755 AMG's viewing angles are as wide as a regular AHVA, IPS, and PLS panel's viewing angles can be, and the 2755 AMG suffers from the regular amount of glow, except when compared to glow-free models like the QNX QX2710, AZO EV273HU, and some high-end IPS panels which use ATW polarizers like the AZO CG246 and CX246. Keep in mind that my QNX is glow-free and does not use LED PWM dimming, while other QNXs glow normally and use LED PWM dimming, such as the QNX QX2710 reviewed by Dead from overclock.ru. It is time for the conclusion. Overall, the crossover 2755 AMG is a great all-around monitor with a few major flaws. The first being the use of plasma deposition coating, which, while it does allow the 2755 AMG to have unsurpassed color vibrancy and clarity, it does ruin the black since they look grayish compared to a display with a glossy, matte, or semi-glossy coating. And the color vibrancy and clarity plasma deposition coating offers when compared to a glossy coating is only slightly superior, while glossy coatings are nearly as vibrant and clear but have much better black levels. The second major flaw lies with the stand's rotating glass base, which may degrade and crack over time if consistently used to rotate the display. The third flaw lies with the fact that the display's rear casing must be removed in order to remove the stand's necks and VESA mount the display, and the monitor's VESA holes are quite small and require special 3M screws. For more information about the specific screw size to use, refer to the written review which is linked to in the video description. The fourth flaw lies with availability and return policies, since the 2755 AMG is only available from eBay sellers, which usually try to avoid accepting returns and exchanges at all costs. Even when buyers escalate their cases with PayPal, sellers will still try to avoid accepting a return or exchange. The fifth flaw lies with the limited 1-year warranty, though it is possible to purchase 3 to 4 year square trade warranties for less than $70. The 2755 AMG has unrivaled out-of-the-box color accuracy, and its colors are more vibrant and clearer compared to most monitors thanks to the use of plasma deposition coating. The pixel response times are also pretty fast, meaning it has less ghosting than the QNX QX2710, Asus PB278HU, Samsung S278 850D, and the 2755 AMG is overshoot ghosting free, unlike the ghosting plagued Dell U2713H. It does have a frame of input lag, but this is normal for multi-input 1440p monitors, and this monitor is mainly meant for gamers who want to play games on both their PC and consoles. Dead from Overclock.ru has reviewed the crossover 27QW and 2735 AMG, both of which are single input panels which don't have color controls. They only have brightness controls. However, they are delay free, unlike the 2755, but they have worse colors which aren't quite as saturated as the 2755 AMGs due to the low average gamma, which averages around 2.0 compared to the 2755 AMG's near perfect out-of-the-box gamma. Gamers who just intend on playing PC games and want lower input lag may want to opt for the 27QW or 2735 AMG. I recommend getting the 27QW since it has better build quality than the 2735 AMG, offers the same performance but is cheaper. PlayerWare reviewed the 2763 AMG and it is the same as the 2755 AMG, except it has an additional DisplayPort input. Check out my review of the crossover 2720 MDP, which is a glossy multi-input IPS panel which has much better black levels than the 2755 AMG since it uses a glossy coating. However, the colors aren't quite as saturated since it has low average gamma out of the box, as does the 2730 MD, which was reviewed by Dead from Overclock.ru. The 2730 MD is exactly the same as the 2720 MDP, except it has less inputs, and it is cheaper. This concludes my crossover 2755 AMG review. For more information, refer to my written review, which is linked to in the video description. Also refer to my written review, which is linked to in the video description for my monitor settings, ICC profile, Xbox 360, and PS3 settings. Auf Wiedersehen, Granada!